thanks again for coming here tonight. Wanted to ask about, you had originally cast...
Where are you?
Oh, right here. Hey.
Oh, there you are, sitting down.
You had originally cast a different actor to play Wolverine. That actor became unavailable, and so you had to regroup and cast Hugh Jackman. How did that change the character and how you were perceiving the role when you had to bring in a completely different actor after you'd already started shooting?
It didn't change it at all because I really had no work experience with the other actor. I just knew I had cast him. And when he suddenly became unavailable, we were shooting. We were in the middle of shooting, and it was, it was just getting reacclimated with Hugh. But it wasn't like I had worked with another actor and then lost the other actor and then had to replace him. We just, I started Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. We just started in production. We were already shooting for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So there's a funny story about how I cast him. He was doing Curly in Oklahoma on Broadway, I think, or in the West End, Broadway, I forget it now. And he flew in to Toronto where we were shooting, and we were at Roy Thompson Hall, and we did a screen test with him and Anna Paquin at the end of a long shoot day. And again, I looked quite young at this time, and I was off to the side wearing my headphones just listening to him. So a janitor came up to me, didn't know who I was. I was like, hey. I'm like, yeah? Dude. I'm like, what? I'm trying to listen to the performance, decide if I'm hiring Wolverine. And the guy said, is that the guy that got to play Wolverine? And I was like, this is the moment. So I went, yeah. What do you think? And I'm looking at the guy, and he just goes, cool. So, all right. So, and then I offered him the role on the spot. It's the truth.
Hello, first of all, it's an honor to see you here, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm just curious because my friends keep making rumors that William Stryker will be in this movie. Is that true?
Who?
William Stryker.
Yeah.
Oh, he will?
Call him Bill. Bill will be in the movie. Josh Hellman. It's cool. He's a great actor. He's a really great actor, a cool guy.
Hi, just want to say it's an honor to meet you. And well, my question is, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg recently made a comment on how cinema is basically imploding and it's changing. I want to know what is your opinion about their comments, if you agree or disagree, and what would be your advice for young filmmakers who want to break through to cinema?
Well, it's harder. It's harder now because the big movies take up all the theater space, and smaller movies have less of a life. It's very tough. There's more avenues for content. So I mean, I think with obviously with new media, with more channels, satellite, pay-per-view, on-demand, YouTube, etc. So I think it's just making good content as a filmmaker, just trying to, if you love films, there is still those little movies that explode and do really well. And if not, just make films that you like, and hopefully they'll be seen in the festival circuit and they'll lead to other jobs. Or write for other formats. I mean, I just produced a web series called H+, and we produced 3 hours of content divided into 3 6-minute webisodes. The director did an amazing job in Chile. It takes place all over the world, it really feels like, and it feels huge. And it's a different way of making a movie. It's a kind of movie, but it's not like a conventional movie. And yet it's seen by a lot more people than we'll see a lot of independent, $2 or $3 million movies. So there's different, explore those different avenues, but it's all about the content, really. But it is harder. They're right to some degree. If something's going to happen. Ticket prices are getting very expensive. But 3D adds another element to it. But I don't know. I don't know if they'll do what they said. I didn't read the article, but I heard that it's something about different prices for different kinds of movies. I think it's kind of a clever idea. Because if you knew that you could see a really cool independent movie for $4 or $5, it might draw audiences that never would ordinarily go if they had to spend $12 or $13. Different paradigm. I think it's a cool idea, actually.
Hi, thanks for being here. My question is about the casting. In any kind of movie, how do you go through the casting? You look for somebody who looks the part physically, or do you look for somebody you want to work with? How do you write?
It's all three things. Are they physically right for the role? Is it an actor that I like? And or if it's someone I'm not familiar with, what's their audition like? I trust my casting director to help me narrow it down. I work with a guy called Roger Mosenden, and then when I'm in London, I work with two women there. And then I see the tapes, and then eventually I meet them, or I have them audition for me personally. But you just sort of feel it in the room. It's hard to tell. I don't like the process. It's my least favorite part of the process is casting, because I think I'm pretty good at it. But to have to meet so many actors, all of whom I admire on some level, if only for the fact they came and spent time to audition for me, and I feel like I want to give each person like a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of that, and when you know you're only going to cast one person for the role, and you're seeing 100, it gets very frustrating, and I feel guilty all the time. Like I want to say, I want to take each actor out for lunch, but you can't because you're moving through people like. So it's just an instinct to the character, and then once you cast somebody, you try to bend the script to the actor, so it creates what I call the illusion of perfect casting. You find the actor's strengths and weaknesses, and you make them work for the language, or make the language work for them. And that's why I do a lot of rewriting during production.
Hi, my question is about the way the last Wolverine is ending. I was wondering if you had to work this scene with James Mangold.
You mean the scene after the credits?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I co-wrote that scene with Simon Kinberg, and then James directed it. I visited set just for fun. But yeah, we tried to just come up with some very poetic way to say, look, a war is coming, stuff's happening, and guess what? Patrick Stewart is alive. Let the audience swallow that slowly. So Wolverine helped the ending of Wolverine helped to do that. So I was very grateful to James Mangold for putting that sequence in and directing it and allowing it to be in his movie.
Hi there. I just wanted to say thanks for giving us that inside look. That was fantastic. I just wanted to ask, you've mentioned that At Pupil was inspired by work by Stephen King, and are there any other texts, novellas, or any other things that you've been reading lately that you might be interested in pursuing in the future?
I read a lot of short stories and stuff like that lately. A lot of David Sedaris. So I'm reading a book called Citrus County right now, which is an interesting dark sort of coming of age story. But I don't know if anything that I've responded to develop. I should start reading horror books or something, and maybe find a ghost story or something that I want to tell. I just mostly when I read, I don't read for work. I read for pleasure to go to sleep, and I read very slowly. I'm dyslexic, so I read very, very slowly. And I read at night for pleasure. When I have to read a script or a book that's being considered, that's a different process, and that I need a lot of coffee, and I need to be at a coffee shop so I can be appropriately distracted.
Hi, thank you for your generosity first.
Thank you.
And my question is very simple, but why you never used the song Magneto and the Titanium Man by Paul McCartney in any X-Men movie?
Which song?
Magneto and Titanium Man.
I thought about using it in this one, actually. It's funny. I just don't... and I don't think... The period, it was too late. I thought of using it, but I just don't think... But yeah, it's just not 1973. It's later, so I get in trouble. Probably can't afford it either.